Hello, friends, and welcome back. It is Angela, and I'm here with another episode of Thrifted Treasures and Thrifty Thursday. Thrifted Treasures is hosted by Dale at Not Too Shabby Chic, and Thrifty Thursday by Sherry at Turquoise Streaming. So we are going to go ahead and get right on in it. I am really tired today. Like, I've been busy all day, but I don't feel like I've accomplished much. So, I don't know. And I didn't even move my work mat. So we're just going to deal. We're just dealing. Let's see. First of all, this is from a haul I went to on my way home from Omaha. I stopped at a couple of my regular little places that I usually go, little thrift shops, and I found two more. And so I'll tell you the story about that in a little bit. But I did pick up in two of my regular shops 3 of these. Now I'm going to be doing, so this has 24 mini cupcakes. This has 12 and this has 12. And I am filming this in October, but I am so far out on my thrifty hauls that this will not air until like maybe December. So I may have already done this DIY, but these are for a fun holiday DIY project. So we're going to do that. So you can, if it's already, oh gosh, if it's already happened, you can just, I'll try to link it or remember to link it once it comes out. And if not, look for it because it will be coming. One other thing that I got, these were at one of the regular spots that I go to. Now, I don't generally buy this kind of stuff. It's not usually my favorite. This stuff feels like you're petting a cat or Zenny. It's so soft. But a while back, I did those dangles and I did the spines like this one. This is, the one that I did with the straw. And I really liked how these turned out. This was an inspiration from my friends Janice and Pam. And so I didn't have really any of this kind of stuff. I had a few little pieces or a few, bundles of eyelash trim. And the girls had given me some. So I thought, well, I'll just get this and I'll share some with them. And they probably have all these colors already. But they were, man, this stuff is expensive. For example, this one was made in Italy. This one's polyester. La Collection Française. I don't know. One of them, where was that? It was like $8. And I thought, holy cow. Because I was like, $11. This is the made in Italy stuff. So apparently, the Italians must make it out of very special fibers. But I was like, I'm not paying $3 for this because I don't need it that bad. But it was all. It was either 98 cents or half price. I think it was 98 cents. So I was like, fine, I'll pay 98 cents for this. That's fine. Then I got, I'm kind of doing this totally rando, but okay, so this was at one of the new thrift shops that I went to, and I do not remember the name of it, but it is, I believe it was sponsored by a church, and the two new ones I went into, one was also a Christian one, but I don't know if it's sponsored by a church, but it's also a food pantry. And then the other one I went to was sponsored by a church, and they must have some program too, because, well, I'll tell you the story in a minute, but this is where I got that. And this, I don't know. I got this because I was a cheerleader, and these girls look like about like I did when I was cheering. Although, this is before my time, because we didn't wear the saddle shoes. We had, like, tennis shoes. But, let's see, when was this? And this is a weekly reader book. Oh, in 1984, so it probably could have been me. But I just bought it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a cheerleading journal. It was nostalgic for me for no other reason. Not for junk journaling, just because I liked it. So the first little spot, where did this go? The first little store I went into, hold on, I got these all out of order. I thought I had everything figured out. It was very small, and it was next to like a hardware store. And is that all I got? No, I got a couple of other things, but I think they were more like tchotchkes for my live sale. And the whole front had like bicycles with large garbage bags and grocery carts, and there was a variety of individuals that were homeless that were in front of there, all very nice. It wasn't in an area that I felt threatened or anything like that, but it just makes you think. Like, I felt like, okay, I need to spend more money because I want to be able to, give back. But everybody was super, super kind. They did have like a little breakfast or, a little sitting area in the back, and there were several folks there talking. And as I was shopping, I was listening, and it just kind of breaks your heart, and you're like, oh. So, I did buy a few more things, but apparently they either didn't make it in the house, or they are part of more of the collectibles and stuff that I'll be doing, and I put them somewhere else. So my apologies. But what I did get, I know what I got. I got a bunch of pieces to do my assemblages with. I've got a bunch of vintage pieces and some tins and things like that. So I just picked up little things, and that's what and I've already put those away. So there was a box, and this box it was a big box, but it only had about this much stuff in it. And they charged me $1. There was this, and it's like I believe it's a ornament, but wouldn't that be cute in a journal? It's just like a little brass clock. There was this, and of course I'm like, I'm keeping it. Montauk silk floss. Isn't there a Montauk in, maybe not. I was thinking in Michigan. I'm getting that confused with something else. This I thought was really neat. So both of those I thought would be cute in a sewing journal. Then there were two of these. This had 2 old pins or needles in it. But I believe this is to clean glass. I wouldn't suggest doing it now. And then this one is from an optometrist. So I thought those were kind of cute. And then there's some letters. There's some love letters in here. I've already sent some off on Happy Mail, but then it's just kind of, look at that beautiful handwriting. These are from 1903, 1924. This is from the Hotel Irwin in Des Moines, which I'm going to have to research and see, like, is that now something else, or was it torn down? I don't know. This was from to Hattie from her husband. And I was like, let's see. Oh, here it says, and this is like so true. It says, I have a future. I think that's what it says. I don't know. Of a girl that is dear to me, and I'm glad it won't be long until I have her with me, for no matter how long we live, we can't waste so much time apart. Yeah, that kind of tugged at my heartstrings too, because, Dave and I commute a lot, and that's not easy. So, but anyway, there was a bunch of love letters from, I think his name was Robert, to Hattie. But then there were also, dear girl, isn't that sweet? And then there were also some sympathy cards and things when he passed. So that was kind of, yeah, it was very emotional in that particular, sometimes you just, you go places. And see, this was little season's greetings. But yeah, then here's a sympathy card when in his passing, and that was in 1944. So I have to think he led a pretty. They had a pretty long. Yeah, and I won't read that. That was must have been something that they were leaving at the grave, and she wrote it. So, but sometimes, like when you, you know, get things like that or see things like that or are just moved, you know, it just gets kind of emotional. So that was the kind of day I had at the thrift shop that day. So these I got at the same thrift store and food pantry. And I hope by the time that you see this, I will have made a decision about these. But maybe not. Maybe they'll be in the stack that I'm going to sell because, you know, if you see them here, you might want to buy them on one of my live sales. But if you don't know, I used to live in Colorado for quite a while. I love Colorado. I lived in the Denver area, and then I lived in Aspen during the winters for my job, which, what a horrible job, huh? I worked for the airlines, and I loved it. I love the mountains, and I found these. They are from I gotta get up here and look at that closer. All right, hold on. You guys probably can see this better than I can. I'm gonna get this magnifying glass out. Yeah, oh no. Well, let me see. I thought it said 1902. Yes, it does. This is from 1902. So I can only assume that the rest of them are as well. This is in beautiful condition, but it's just a glance, and it's all of these, you know, picturesque places that, you know, many still exist. And the homes. Like, this is something I would never, me personally, I mean, if somebody chooses to use this in their journals, then they should. But it, you know, Colorado has a special place in my heart, and so it is yet to be determined whether I will part with this or sell it. There's just so many places that I've been and that I kind of want to know more about. Look at that with the little girl on the horse. It's just a neat book. So that was one thing. And then the young guy that was helping me, he's like, you really found some fun things. And he said he had actually looked through the letters too and through these as well. So he kind of had an affinity for all things old and antique and vintage too. This is called Nature's Romance Over the Loop. And this is Clear Creek Canyon and then scenery that's nearby. And this is also in Colorado. And this is from 1903. But again, like here's Golden, Colorado in 1903. See, that's just what amazes me. Like if you have been to Golden, Colorado in the last, well, even 20 years, it doesn't look like that anymore. There's Hanging Rock. It's really neat. And see, the more I look at it, the more I want to keep it. But, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there are things that I should be okay. Oh, Idaho Springs. I love Idaho Springs. Now, Idaho Springs has really come into its own. I believe it was a mining city. But it doesn't say on there. Oh, yes, wait. A hamlet nestled in a break among the hills whose inhabitants employ their time in extracting the yellow metal from Mother Earth. So, yep, gold mines. I'm assuming that's yellow metal they're talking about. Georgetown also is really neat. If you it's been a long time since I lived there. Oh gosh, I don't remember the pass. But anyway, you'll go through or go by some of these towns or in the area. I need to keep that magnifying glass out. I need to actually use it more often. Silver Plume. I think one year I went camping in near Silver Plume. Central City. Dave and I, a few years ago, did a loop, and we actually started in Colorado Springs and then went up over the pass. And where did we end up? Oh, I guess we just went to Estes. We didn't do the whole thing. But that was kind of fun because I'm used to going the other way, and so it was kind of nice. Now this is definitely going to a new home. While I love Salt Lake City, I've been to Salt Lake City many, many times. I have many fond memories of it. This doesn't hold like a real special place in my heart. 7th edition, 36,000. Okay, I don't know that that I found a date on here. But if this is something that this is definitely going to be sold, but I couldn't leave it behind. It was just too cool. I had the pleasure and honor to actually go to the Olympics in Salt Lake City, which was a little bit daunting for me. It was my first trip after 9/11, and I had actually worked for the airlines for United at the time. So that was, it was just a little, I mean, not that it has any bad feelings, but gosh, I just remember that first flight after all of that, and having been intimately close to everything that was going on behind the scenes. And yeah, but I do love Salt Lake City. One of my best friends and I drove to Salt Lake City. Mary, I know Mary doesn't watch my videos. She doesn't get into all the crafty things, but she and I had a little road trip there when she dropped me off at the airport one time, and we had a wonderful time. So this was something I couldn't see. Same place. And the gentleman said, well, some of the pages were falling out, and so I didn't want them to fall out, so he had wrapped them in wax paper and taped them very carefully. So yeah, you could just tell and the cover is off, but it's called the White House Painting and Drawing Book. And so I couldn't see it when I bought it, but when I opened this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is from, I'm being very careful, 1913. And look at that illustration. Now, I don't know if this is something that people would be interested. You can tell me as I go through these. It's hard to see because it's so big. Let me move my water. To aid young students in understanding terms. Oh, it talks about perpendicular, right angles, ellipsis, pyramids. So then it has this, and then that, and you're supposed to be able to draw. I need to do that. Well, I actually need to get better at drawing faces. I'm not very good at that. And painting, but it is in very, look at that. See, now these images, well, this one, I don't know, she looks kind of scary. But some of these images I think would be cool to scan and just leave them as they are, so that you could then, like they did, paint these in. But then others are so cool because, like, this was one that somebody painted, so is this one. Or maybe they did. Maybe they painted it. I don't know. It says paint and draw. If I would have read the instructions, look at that horse. Isn't that neat? But these pages are way too fragile. Like, oh, that's beautiful. Folding these in half, they would just come apart. Now, if you backed them with something, they would probably be okay. But I don't know. You tell me if you think these are something you would be interested in. Look at that. And is that a deer or an elk? That's a camel. Oh, poppies. Look at the puppy. Okay. We got some parrots. And maybe a parakeet. I don't know. Some goats. These would be really cool to use as pages if they weren't so fragile, because they would fold nicely. I mean, you know, you get blank and then the whole image, but I think it's too risky. With some scenery. Some characters, some butterflies. Oh my gosh, that's cute. Oh, look at this. That is so cute. Okay, I think I've already made my decision. I think you do need to have these in your lives. It'll just go in the stack that who knows how long it will take me. There's nothing on this side, that's why I'm gobbler. And that's an interesting way to end the book, with some rats or mice. Huh. All right. So, you tell me what you think, but I think there's some of those at least that need to be warranted. Now, this was interesting, and when I picked it up, this was with those Colorado Springs and Salt Lake City. I didn't even look in it. And when I got home and I opened it up, I was like, what? Now, these were issued in 1957. But my guess is that this particular ledger looks way, way older than that. But it doesn't have, so I just can only assume that, but look at the back. So this is something I can scan this part for you. Yeah, but this has been around for quite a while. Somebody probably, and maybe not a lot of people purchase shares. Although the interesting thing is there's only, not all of them have people's names in it. Or maybe they did. No, like some of them are gone and they don't have people's names. So I don't know. But I thought that was kind of cool. And it's really long, so you could fold your pages. All right, this is taking longer than I thought. I got it, all excited. All right, so that's, I think I bought maybe one other thing at that shop. And then I went to the second shop, which, I feel like I bought way more stuff, but the ladies were so nice. And so at this shop, yeah, I can't believe I had never seen this before, but they must help people transition from maybe being homeless to homes, or from other situations to homes. And so she must have been kind of helped with a lot of things. Like he needed some medicine, and she was, he needed money for the medicine. And, of course, again, I wasn't eavesdropping because you couldn't help but not hear this. And he was a little needy, the gentleman was. And, yeah, by the end of it, you could tell she had about had it. But, again, they, either through the church or whomever, they gave, these families money so that they could then shop there and get housewares and clothes. And they each had a family budget per person. And I learned this all through walking through the store while I was shopping. This is one of the pieces I'm showing you while I'm telling you my story. For housewares and furnishings, and then per diem, if you will, or a stipend for each person in the family. And so he was shopping on behalf of the family. But so once again, I was like, well, I better take another spin through here and see what else I can buy. And I did buy quite a bit. Some of the things I've already put away, and I thought he brought them down, but I don't know. It just seems weird that I don't have them. But this is just a piece of, it's upholstery, but it's samples, as you could tell. And they're all sewn together. But I was going to measure these to see how wide they are. So they're 8. And this has got to be at least... It's about 25 inches. So you could probably get 2 journals out of, I mean, they're going to be a little bit smaller if that's what you like. But I just thought this was gorgeous. And the back is beautiful too. Like, this is the back of this. So I picked that up. That's going to be shared. I'll put some of those in the Etsy shop or do them on one of my live sales. But I just thought that was kind of cool. And what else? Oh, I got this. This was at the very last minute. Now, I took out, there were homemade bingo cards. I'm assuming at one time they came with that, which would have been awesome to have. But I thought this would make an awesome cover for a baby journal. And then it's got all of the bingo. This is one of them. Now they made littler ones. So I took out all the ones that were, they were literally somebody hand wrote them. But I left all of these in there. There's bottle warmer and safety pin, etc., etc. And then I think this might be 4 extra games for your stork shower. So that's kind of cute. Not a lot in here, but somebody needs to have this. So I just thought it was super cute. I know I'll probably never make a journal out of it, so it will go on. This I also bought. I'm very particular about buying Reader's Digest, and I thought this was beautiful. So I did pick this one up. If you guys have a hard time finding Reader's Digest where you're at, uh-oh, something was in that book that made me sneeze. Let me know, because I can probably find them. Okay, so aside for some Christmas stuff that I'm working on, that was everything I got at that little shop. I know there's more, but I don't know where it's at. And then let's rewind to a couple days before that, and I found a whole bunch of goodness. I did get some more, like, collectibles and such. And that brings me to the start of my story, is that this gal was kind of shopping. Like, the first aisle is all, like, hard goods and, you know, collectible kind of things and that kind of stuff. And I saw that she was kind of looking things up. I'm just going to flip through these. They were in 2 bags. They were originally $5 a bag, and right? Yeah, $4.98. And I got, were they half price? I think they were half price. So I got each bag for $2.50. So that was awesome. I'll just go through them. Here, we'll do it like this, because I think the bigger ones are on the bottom. So, that fly, I don't know. It has to be a new one, because I haven't had a fly in here forever. And she goes, oh, you must be doing one, because I had my phone out and I was looking something up. And I said, yeah, it kind of looks like that. And so anyway, we got to chatting, which is not unusual for me. In fact, I had 2 really long conversations with folks in thrift shops this little trip. This one's pretty stained up, but I don't care. I'm probably going to dye some of these. These are square. So we just got to visiting, and you know, without saying too much, she had recently, she had been a professor and had recently decided to do something different, and she is reselling full time. And so we exchanged numbers, and she happened to be a writer as well, which as is Dave. So we visited about that, and so we had a lot kind of in common, which is wonderful. It's like one more way to connect in, you know, being a content creator, being an artist and junk journalist, and reselling. Although, you know, I don't resell full time, but all afford us so many opportunities to meet just amazing people. So it was awesome. I thought this was a great haul. I think the ones I really wanted were but look at this one. Oh, that's so pretty. It's almost a gray color, or it's just old. I think the little ones that I really wanted were on the bottom. But, you know, this one's got a pretty on it. But like I said, you know, a lot of times I found, this one looks like it's tatted. I think it is. Yes. Wow. I'm always in awe. I'm pretty sure that's tatting. But if it's not, tell me. Sometimes I question myself on whether it is or it isn't, but I'm pretty sure that is. Ooh, this is pretty. I find a lot of, you know, doilies and dresser scarves and things like that that are colored, which I know in some people's, I think I was watching Meg at Chasing Retro, and she's like, I always pick up the colored ones because I don't find them very often. And I'm just the opposite. I find them all the time. But the kits that I have put together have gone over fairly well. And so I want to be able to just, you know, dye some of these. So, oh, this is a big one. But look at those baskets. Cute. And leave some just this, you know, as they're. Ooh, this one's pretty too. And they're kind of shiny little daisies. And they're silky. Oh, and then there's this much. Well, here's another one. All of a sudden, after I opened that book, I got all sneezy. My apologies. It must be something. This is why I really wanted it. This one has a basket on it, too. So does that one. This one. And then they just keep getting smaller, I think. But these would make awesome covers, just as they are. I wouldn't do anything with them. And then they have all of the little ones. Like that one. Somebody must have spilled some coffee on that. It's already coffee dyed for me. Look at that. So some of these will be in the kits. So I'll keep a few for myself and make some things out of them. But worth sharing. So I should have probably saved that for last, because that's probably what you guys are most interested in. Then, just to wrap it up, I went to another, I'm just going to dump these out. I went to another thrift shop, and I met a lady named Karen, which has nothing to do with what I've got here. But I was almost finished, and Karen, it was a para at a school, I don't know where. And she had a mission, a passion, a purpose. And you know what? I'm a sucker for someone who wants to tell me their vision and their story, and what they want to do. And it was all for children and after school programs, and something, you know, her idea of helping not only the kids, but the parents too, by doing this program. And she went into great detail. And so I made sure I got her name. She told me she had like this blow up doll thing that she had put a t-shirt on that she showed me with the name of it, of her organization. She's like, I shop with this all the time. And what a great marketing tool. I mean, maybe I need to get like, for the dental office, I should just get like a blow up Dave and put a City View Dental jacket on. I'm sure he would love on it and just walk around with it. But she was a sweet, sweet lady. And I've got to kind of keep, I don't know how well established the group is that she's working to create, or they needed to find funding and they needed to find a building and all of that good stuff. But it's kind of one of those causes I could see myself supporting. So there was the people you meet at the thrift stores, and I had 2 really good experiences. So all of these were in a bag. How much was this? $1.99, and it was 50% off. So it was $1. And oops, sorry, you guys. I know that was really loud. I just tried to kill that fly. These were all clips, hair clips. But I was like, well, somebody already did the work for me. I don't necessarily love all of these buttons, but I can easily pop those off when I'm ready to use them and make them into something else. And the clips work great. You've seen me probably, let's see, what happened to that little, they go really easily on the top of a page or whatever. So, I thought for $1, and look at this one. This is already hand stitched with a blanket stitch on it. I took off, this had a hair clip or a comb on the back of it. So is this one. Hey, when the work is already done for you, just, it's well worth it to pick it up. And then this also was in there, which I think this is really cool. Let's see if I can get it open. I haven't undone this. Yeah, that's cool. That's very boho, kind of 70s-ish. Pretty. So I got that. And I got a couple of books. This one is really cute. It's a Rand McNally Jr. Elf book, but it's fairly old. It's from 1952. That page, I think, is the only... Well, I don't remember. I thought the pages were pretty good in it. But there's some really cute illustrations. I don't know if I have this one already or not. But this would be one that would be fun to, keep intact if you could. But the pages are pretty fragile, so... and then this one I got because I thought it would be cute in a farm journal. It is 1961. And there's some writing on it, but, I'm okay with that in many cases. I just thought it was cute. I liked the cover, and so that's what I got. And then the last 2 things I got were 3 things. I didn't bring them all. Because I left them in Omaha. But I got a big deck of playing cards. I got and I did not need really envelopes, but these colored ones are nice. And I don't really have a lot of envelopes in Omaha, so I was like, I'll pick them up. So I picked those up, and then I picked up these, which I think these are long. And if I had to guess, there was also like some kind of box that I don't know what it was used for. But I'm assuming that, and they priced them separate, but I'm assuming these went inside of that box, so they would stand up. But I thought these would be fun to do something with. I tried to just fold one in half and make it into a file folder. That was unexciting, but I got those. But then with the rest of the stuff, I'll show you what I made. So I had bought one more book, and it was an ABC book. I don't know what I did with the cover. I must have left it. But it was in rough, like almost every page was coming out, except the A and the Z because they had been taped together. So I pulled all the pages out, and then the other thing, I didn't have any plain white paper. Cardstock. I don't know. And I didn't want to use the other stuff. So I just made some journal cards out of these, which I thought were kind of fun. And then after I made them with a solid color, I'm like, I kind of like that. So I whipped those up really quick so as not to, forget. And then with the envelopes, I made just a couple little pockets, which I mean, these are easy. I just traced this and put a little piece of paper in it. And then this is from a book I already had there, The Surprise Cake, but I thought that would be good in a cookbook journal, so I made that for that binder. This I thought would be good for one of my Christmas journals, so I made that one. And then this one, I just made a couple cards. When I put this on the page, this piece of lace, it just looked like a dress, so I kind of made it into one. Just really easy tags. This I have a bunch of these, so. And then I also got a whole lot of buttons. Not at, where did I get those at? Oh, that was on my first day there. That was when I met the gal that was a reseller and the writer. And so I went through and I put them all in I've got the bowls all on display. The, oh gosh, I can't even think. What do you call them? The milk glass ones on a pedestal. And so that's what I use there for all of my stuff. So I just separated them all. And, oh, I need to put these where they're supposed to go. So now I have buttons there. Button. Who's got the button? And then last but not least, let me show you what I bought. Now, I had some of these a long time ago. Well, here, let me just show you what they are and why I bought them. If I can get them untangled. Okay, here's the bag. Now, if many of you probably know, if you're, oh, this one's not in very good shape. We won't use that one. These are drapery hooks, so you would put them through, and they kind of make like a pleated look to your drapes. Well, I use them. I used to use them at the venue when we had the mercantile. And here, for example, I made some in advance. Let's see. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this like that. No, of course you can't. All right, so here's what it looks like when I got done with it. So now it's a picture stand. So you just put your, so I have to put them like that. But then they just go in like that. Fun, huh? So I thought it would be good. And I used to have a whole bunch. I thought these would be good to make for my live sales. So like if I was displaying something, it would be easy. But I'll just show you really quick how I do it. I just take a hook like this and you just pull it apart. That one looks like it has a little bit of maybe rust on it. So I've done that on those two. And then you just, and I kind of turn this so it's like that. And then I kind of do the same. I do the same thing on the other side. And you can get through. I make sure that they're sort of even, but they're not that hard to manipulate. So there you go. Now you've got your picture stand. And then, you know, like for that one, it's perfect. You can stay just like it is. Some of them, like this one, I had to pull this out farther because all of them are just a little bit different. So I'll show you one more time. So they come together like that, right? So you pull them apart a little bit as far as you want. Like you could make, let's just make one really far apart and see. And then, okay, so now you've pulled it apart. It kind of looks like an A or an upside down V. And then you just twist it. And then I just twist it a little so it's going to stay in there. And then you do the same on the other side. Twist it. And it's a really, and then for this one, because obviously now I've made it too far ahead, right? Because now it's not going to stay up. All you have to do is just pull that back and you can manipulate it however you want, depending on what you're hanging up or putting on it. So they're very inexpensive and very great. Now, do they work on really heavy things? No, not so much. I mean, they're not that great. Like, where's that big one? I did that one that I pulled. Was that the one? Let's just do it on this one. I'd have to move these out a little bit. I've never put a book on it. Well, it works for the baby book. But that, look how tiny this book is. It's only that big, so what, 3 inches. So it works on some things like that. So I just thought I would show you that. That was the last thing that I bought. And if you see them, pick them up because they're perfect to use. And I am taking them out to my area where I do my live sales so that I can put pieces on them as I show them. So that's the deal with those. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and that you, gosh, this was one of the longest hauls I've done in a very long time. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. And until then, remember to take time to just be. Cheers.